Welcome back to the Smugsy Show. I'm Smugsy, your host. Almost every Wednesday we meet here to talk about important things and important people. This week it's trans math, and be careful what you wish for. But first, I just want to respond to fans of the show who are wondering why I didn't submit an application to fulfill the role on the Kirk Minahan show of watching movies and making content about them. And the reason is simple, is that the task is impossible, the project undoable. It's bound to fail because nobody with a job or a family can go to the movies every day and blog about it. And if the person who gets the job doesn't have a job or a family, then they're probably a loser and won't complete it. And therefore, my confidence level is not high that it's going to pass. It's going to fly. So I that's why I didn't apply. Plus, I find in this era of my life that I'm a big idea person, that I'm sort of a visionary. I can kind of see things the way they should be and then really put the energy towards making things happen. So that's why I don't have room for the minutia of the kind of details that I think are required for the Minifan audience who, they need to know the names and actors and titles, all this sort of stuff that, to me, that's irrelevant, really. Like the plot, who cares? I like movies like The Big Short, which I've watched several times. I learn a lot, and I like the characters. So there are movies that I like, but I think a better show that I could do that would be a bigger contribution to the well-being of the world in general would be an advice show, because I have a lot of common sense, high IQ, good listener, compassionate, like Smugsy says, or Judge Smugsy, Judge Judy. It would have to be real controversy. It couldn't be a parody. It couldn't be Tim from Canton calling in with some nonsense that I would then be embarrassed about. So there'd be a penalty if you called in with a fake story. You'd be banned from the Kirk Minahan show for some degree. But other than that, I think I could give good advice. And it could just add to the mental health of some of the listeners who are in distress. When I hear about this date that Will went on, it just sounds horrible. This poor woman, I hope she's all right. No food. So they go for drinks, they go for more drinks. Will rips his pants. They have to go to Kohl's, and then they get potato chips. And it sounds like you basically need like a username and a password to go out on a date, and then expected to engage in all these gymnastics to perform these sex acts that bleak. It's very bleak. So that's why I think an advice show is somebody who's just like naturally, authentically kind of confident, successful, grounded. And say, for instance, somebody called in, this would be an example. If somebody called in and was like, I'm stumped on the question, are trans women women? I don't know what to say. The polling, I don't understand, and I don't really have a thought about it. Can you help me with that? Are trans women women? What should I say? And I'd be like, yeah, as a matter of fact, I can help you with that. Well, I could help anybody who knows basic math. This is the trans math piece. Trans math piece. So 2 plus 2 is 4, right? And vice versa. 4 equals 2 plus 2. Like on both sides of the equal sign, the same thing. 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 equals 2 plus 2. Not 2 plus 2 is 4 and 4 equals 2 plus 3. So now, are trans women women? Well, yeah. If you flip it over, are women trans women? No. And I know that because I'm a woman and I'm not a trans woman. So the answer is no. Trans women are not women. Trans women are trans women. Women are women. And both categories are deserving of our respect, dignity, to be free from discrimination. But let's not get confused. 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 is 2 plus 2, and women are women, and trans women are trans women. That's the kind of advice that could come from the show that I'm offering. Or maybe I'll just do it on this show, but we'd have to have somebody call. I don't know how to do the phone lines. There's that. And then, the final thing I just wanted to touch on is the reason why I went into the Papa Ginos in Waltham on Lexington Ave is because I was driving down 95 in the rain on Saturday, and I was very hungry when I happened to listen to the Kirk Minahan show when he was talking about pizza, and he rated this Papa Ginos as number 1, and it turns out it was like 15 miles from where I was on the highway. So I got a slice of cheese, and the young woman was very gracious in putting it in again to get it crispy. But despite its excellent temperature, Kirk was not right. It's not number 1. I mean, the dough, for instance, had a whiff of sort of age. It probably was Friday night's dough that they were reusing, and the tomato sauce was a little tangy. So it tasted like a frozen pizza that was heated up. And that's good. And the price was good, $3.50 or something, which, you can't even get a candy bar for $3.50 where I am right now. But it's not number 1. But it was nice to be in a Papa Ginos, because Papa Ginos is where my grandmother loved to go, on the border of Bristol and Warren, Rhode Island, which is where Kevin from Bristol's shop is. And I'm sorry that I had to bring that up, but people were wondering, well, why did you go into that Papa Ginos? And that's why. Would I go back? If I had to, sure. It wasn't bad. It's just, number 1. Come on. That's complete bullshit. So there's got to be some emotional baggage there. So maybe, Kirk could call into the show, ask me, why do you think it is that I am stuck on Papa Ginos? I have some thoughts about that. I do. Yeah, we could work it through. We'll see. I don't know. I don't even know if I'm going to stick with this gig, being a parody and having the Smugsy Show. I think it's going pretty well, but we all have to occasionally self-reflect, look in the mirror. What's going on? Am I doing the best I can to change the world? And I guess I am, now that I think about it, but we'll see. Subscribe to the show. Take care. And until next time, this is Smugsy Show signing off.